to put the draw log, my link to my stream in the draw log, but I feel like I might be abusing it, using something that's sacred. So I'm not going to do that. Okay. Alright, so got 2 viewers. Well, okay. Oh! Lone Wolf No Cub. This is nice. I feel like this is... Hello, Lone Wolf. Feels nice that for you to drop in. It feels great. Man. Makes me feel honored. You could be watching any other art streamer, but instead you chose little old me with my 19 subscribers. I'm humbled. Thank you, kind sir. Alright, so far, you know what? I think... What do I do? Besides render this sick arm? Maybe I should talk about my day? I don't know. I recently watched Superman. You know, maybe I should, like, for another stream, talk about Superman while drawing Superman. Have to be, like, really cool, like him fighting a kaiju, or him, just giving a Klansman a wedgie. And calling him a dork. It's like, you hate black people? What are you, a cuck? Did a black... How's the character development going? Well, it's going. I mean, so far, this is, okay, so basically this is what I have so far. I wanted to show this to people in Lightbox, but basically this is kind of like a concept art of essentially Frankenstein. And, I've got the body, but I don't have the foot and the hands. Hands are hard to draw and paint, and foot is, well, I feel like I'm kind of like going through like a Rob Liefeld stage where it's like I can't draw feet for shit. I'll get to it, but right now I need to focus on like the hand. Like I have this idea where essentially Frankenstein, like it's like how in the old like monster movies Frankenstein has like these 2 bolts on his neck. Thank you. I feel... Thank you. I worked really hard on this. Basically, I wanted to kind of like, I wanted to basically like add little bolts around his body. Like in say joints, hands. I always thought that it's like that these bolts like basically like would supercharge his like say nervous system. Like they're connected and they make him functional. And essentially like they're kind of just like, it's not just the neck, it's the arms, the hands, it's what keeps him like, it's kind of like it's what keeps him going. Also, like the reason why Frankenstein in here is blue, or like pale blue and not green, is because, well, it's like I've heard this story about vampires from Dan Warren, co-creator of Steve Lichman. We were in a Discord call once, so kind of a big deal. No, I'm not. But basically, he talked about like this folk story well, not folk story, this historical story about this girl, like about vampires. Like back in the day, people thought vampires were real, and basically they were like people who were getting bitten in some sort of village in like New England. I could get the I could get the I could get the like the facts wrong, but here's the gist of it. Basically, there was mass hysteria about vampires. They essentially went to a grave and they dug some corpses up, and they found the corpse of a girl. And this girl had had pale blue skin and like elongated teeth, the with like incisors like that poked out the most. And basically they thought she was a vampire, and so what they did was they kind of like got a stake, and they just grabbed a hammer and just boom boom hammered it in her chest to keep her down. And it turns out that, well, it's like obviously she wasn't a vampire, but that essentially during the winter time when you bury a body near the during winter solstice, they take a lot longer to decompose. Not to mention their skin like turns like very pale, and so this, like for example, it's like how else could how else could have like Dr. Frankenstein, like the guy who made the monster, like find like organs that were not that were fresh, you know? He had to like have dug the like the parts up during like a cold night. That way they could still be on some level functioning, you know? Because you just like you can't just like make a living thing out of like just spoiled, decomposed body parts. That's not gonna end well. They're not gonna last. And that's kind of like the thought that I put into it. And what I'm planning on doing more is like variations for clothing. For example, like what the monster looked like when he was, when he first got the zap and came to life. Then basically him, like essentially kind of like being like this little baby monster, not baby monster, but him like running through the wilderness, you know, him hiding, like him actually kind of like it's I only know bits and pieces of the Frankenstein story. Honestly, after this, I want to move up. Oh, wow, like no audio? Oh, my God. Hold on. No audio. Can you hear me? Something's wrong. Barely. Yeah, I really gotta work on this. Okay, so how about now? Yeah, sorry about that, man. This is the exact same problem I had when I interviewed Ryan. Like the desktop audio wasn't all the way up, and when I kind of like when I went back to listen to the interview, like it was just he was barely audible, and you had to basically take two headphones and put the volume on full blast just to hear him. Honestly, I'm planning on doing another interview with Ryan, but just like with the mistakes just rectified. I hope that I hope that that didn't. I hope this didn't turn you off to the stream. I am still learning. Also, after this, I want to rename the stream. I want to rename the stream. One idea is that I rename the stream to watch. Okay, I'm going to draw until I become a professional. Or I don't know, something clickbaity, something Mr. Beastie. I'm going to stream online until I become a professional artist. That could be cool. I'm going to live stream myself drawing until I become a professional. Alright. Thank you. What else do I have? I'm also working on a Warhammer comic. I really gotta finish that thing. I said I mean, I don't know. I feel like between you and me, man. I'm kind of lost right now. I don't know what to do. You have a hard time with veins? Oh, yeah, no, yeah. We're not talking about life right now. We're talking about drawing hands. Yep, I totally know what I'm doing. Life's a dream. Life could be dreamed. This is honestly this I'm copying. I'm like, I don't know. I'm using lots of. Oh, we're talking about anatomy. Yeah, at this point, I feel like, okay, when it comes to anatomy, I just I go in and I just do my best, and over time, I recognize landmarks. I just, for example, like the chest. Quick example. Like for example, like, back in the day, I used to draw like chests, like just like uh, 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 and like the chest would kind of not be connected to the, like, it's kind of embarrassing, but I think I have some old drawings that highlight how I would draw anatomy, and it's humiliating, but I think it would like be cool to show, because, well, it's like, hey, look at how far I've come. But essentially, like, how I draw chest back then would not be anatomically correct, but once I found out that the pectorals were kind of like connected to essentially the upper half of the arm bone or skeleton, then drawing them would kind of like be easier. Not to mention, you got the got the got this. you know, and God, like it's like at this point, good. You should be. That's what consistency is, you know. Honestly, I feel like the one thing I feel like I could get better at is maybe like line work, perspective, finishing projects, emailing people. Because I go to conventions to network, and then I don't keep, you know, I don't keep in touch with them, and that's a problem. Also, working out to keep a healthy mind, healthy body. Also, I don't know, just put yourself in a position where you don't look like a, don't look weird when you're naked jakey, you know. No, no, I'm happy to hear that you're getting better. I feel like I'm lacking in a lot of things as well. Yeah. Foreshortening is enough. Honestly, brother, this is me too. Me too. That shit is hard, man. It is hard. Oh, yeah, but I still do it, even on the even on the very very decent chance that I am going to humiliate myself badly, badly. But hey, you know, sometimes, you know, you gotta do it. That's the price of being an artist. You know, for mastery, you just gotta put yourself out there, and if it sucks, you just gotta take it. You know, because in the end, you know that you are bigger than the art that you make, and that that you can, you know, and that you are more than your flaws. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have some stories. I remember freshman year of like college, I wanted to make a poster. Like we had to use charcoal and pastels and all that stuff. And essentially, I wanted to make something on the scale of Mobius. And it's basically this traveler that's kind of like noticed by all these like naked women, and all these naked women look like men. And let's just say the entire the entire room was silent, and it was bad. But I learned from it, like you're doing now. You're drawing now. Nice. We could be study buddies now. Stuff. Got any pics? Any progress pics, bro? All right, that's what you're here for. I mean, you're here on this stream, or here like in general? Because I don't think I can. Me neither. I haven't used poster board in a while. I have used Bristol board, but not poster board. I do not miss art college. Not one bit. On the work in progress just posted. It's on Discord? Hold on. Oh! Cars. Honestly, not bad. Wait, is that the DeLorean? Because if it is, that's awesome. Honestly, keep drawing cars. Because a lot of artists have trouble drawing cars. And if you can like draw cars, that's one thing you got on them. You know? Just show off to your artist friends, like, yeah, I can draw a car. It's like, a car? Yeah, a car. Check this out. Boom. Cars. They look right. The characters fit. How do you like me now, baby? Thunderhawk Camaro. Alright, alright. I would have liked it if it was the DeLorean, though. Yeah, go back in time. Until now, you couldn't draw cars. Keep drawing. Keep drawing cars. Because in the end, the more you draw cars, the more you get better at it. The more you get better at it, the more you can flex on. The more you can flex on people. Matter of fact, one cool way of drawing cars is like lately, what I've been doing. I draw mostly in ball. Like whenever I sketch at work, I sketch mostly in ballpoint pen. Because that's what the OG Kim Jong-gi would do. And one thing I would love to do, not even the semi-truck, I had the hardest time drawing when I was younger. Yeah, I had a hard time with cars too. Honestly, I started drawing cars because I heard a lot of artists sucked at drawing cars, and I thought, hey, if I drew cars, I'll be more valuable. Because a lot of artists suck at drawing cars. I'll be like Sean Gordon Murphy. How to draw? Oh, you have a hard to draw the Marvel way, dude. Honestly, that's a goated book. Stan Lee, John Buscema, may God rest their amazing souls. Man, those books, that book, like it was. If you wanted to learn how to draw, that was like a gateway drug. Maybe that's what you need to work on. Draw the back end of a 67 Camaro. You now know your mission. Okay, okay. In the book. You know, it's. Hold on. Oh right, it's in my bookshelf. I destroyed that thing when I was a kid. The way it's centered down is hard for me. I mean, drawing curves freehand is honestly a very hard thing to do. It's very hard thing to do, but it helps with the stencils or like C curves. Honestly, in Clip Studio Paint. Drawing a perfect circle is hard, especially on a tablet, but there are stencils or rulers for that are really helpful. I would have to look those up. Alright. Lone Wolf. You see any cool movies? Because so far, like I think for me, I saw Superman. And honestly, it was a movie that I had to sit with because I liked the movie, but in the end, I don't know. In my opinion, I think it was a movie that you had to, had to watch once, you know. It's a film you need to watch once. You want to see Superman, but money's tight? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. You know, get that money right. I feel like, I don't know, James Gunn's a good director, but I don't know. Could he pull... Is he a Superman guy? Next people, yeah, don't pay attention to them. They're dorks. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, like, it's like, like, of course, like, they can express their opinions, but I think, in the end, it's like, how does it make you feel? Because so far, like, I've watched the Superman movie, and like, I remember it, but I think give me a few weeks. I think it'll kind of go away. I mean, like, the visuals are really cool. They got Superman right. But honestly, the most memorable thing was I don't know, was the effects, and I think Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is like a lovable asshole, and like Nathan Fillion kind of killed it. Gunn or the actor? I'm talking about Gunn. I feel like Gunn has a specific style. Like Gunn, like, well, back in the day, he was like a very big indie guy. Like he did like, he did a lot of like, stuff for Troma, like his old underground indie film productions, like company or something, like Troma Films. Basically, just is it It's an American entertainment film production and distribution company founded by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz. They're, it's basically the longest independent film studio in the world. And essentially, James Gunn did work for Troma. And I think Tromeo and Juliet. And sorry, I'm researching it. I get distracted. Okay. Gunn is known as a good, fun storyteller and director. Well, yeah, but he's also kind of like, you know, he had like most of his like work is kind of like very much like into like dark humor. He's done like some YouTube shorts that, you know, it's like that have like very like, you know, it's like that delve into black comedy, you know. I think I don't know, but this I'm stuttering. This is obviously prime content. You know, why do I have 19 subscribers, right? You know, it's them. Okay, so basically he has like a okay, so yeah, no, basically he has like he does this like he does like these like he's done like these very like, you know, very like wild and zany sketch comedies. You know, it's like search up like PG porn. Like that's all James Gunn. You know, it's basically he kind of like makes fun of porn. Like not to mention it's like I'm not saying like he like yeah, fair enough. I'm just saying it's like Gunn has a kind of like a very like, you know, very, you know, I think wild style. And like he's like no offense to Gunn, but like I feel like Superman is like a character that's based on sincerity, and James Gunn is basically kind of like, you know, he's like he makes a lot of jokes. Like he's part like he has a lot of humor. He injects a lot of humor into his stuff because, well, basically, like that's the type of guy he is. He's like, you know, he's jokey. He makes a lot of fun. He makes fun of like a lot of stuff. You know, he does wisecracks. He has like very like, you know, he has a very particular sense of humor that can delve into basically like very like, you know, wild jokes, humor and wit. Yeah. Humor and wit. The porn joke. Yeah, no, it's super, like, don't get me wrong, James Gunn did a great job, but you know, maybe I'm I don't know, because whenever I see a Superman movie, it's kind of different. I don't know. It's maybe I'm new to Superman movies because like most of the Superman films that I've watched, I was a kid. I remember when I was 6, I watched the Brendan Routh Superman movie. You know, where Superman, like, or like Lois Lane. It's not perfect. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. But it's a good start. Took it out. All right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For me, I don't know. I like Superman did way better for me than Mission Impossible. I think I fell asleep for most of that. Like, no offense to Mr. Tom Cruise, but I don't know. Like, I just couldn't help but just black out. You know? On some parts. I mean, my father liked it, which is good. But for me, it's just like, you know, didn't hit the landing. Did not hit that landing. I am looking for hands. Looking for hands. And I found them. Yeah, Mission Impossible, you probably would have too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't. Thank you. But, I had to look. I had to, reference. Reference is needed. I had to look for the reference. You know. I think Mission Impossible. The movies can't be all bad. Like, I think, like, the one that I didn't fall asleep on was the one where they had Henry Cavill in it. And it was pretty, like, the choreography was pretty good. Yeah, like, I think we need to have reference because it's like we need to know what stuff looks like. Also, hands are a pain in the ass to draw. Just a massive pain in the ass. The one that Henry Cavill was in? There has to be so many Mission Impossibles. Because, like, this was a series. Mission Impossible was a series, like, from, like, way back when, like, before I was born. Like, there had to be, like, what? There's Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible 4, Mission Impossible 5, Mission Impossible 6, Mission Impossible 7. I think I saw Mission Impossible 6 with Henry Cavill. You know, with, like, Haley Atwell and Vanessa Kirby, to the... Invisible Woman and Peggy. Sorry, no. I'm sorry. I just I have a huge crush on both of them. Invisible Woman and Peg Me Carter. I kid, I kid. Really? What's the name of the manga book? I might cop. Invisible Woman. Yeah, I think Mission Impossible like 6 was like my first ever Mission Impossible movie. I never really bothered with any of them. I wasn't really interested. It didn't speak to me. But my dad was a huge fan of them, so you know, he wanted to go to the movies, he wanted to see them, and then voila. You know, Mission Impossible 6, Mission Impossible 7, Mission Impossible 8. I'm not sure who Tom Cruise is going to fight in Mission Impossible 9. Because, like, so far, it's like he fought AI. What's next? You know, at this point, like, Hollywood's kind of been on like a slump recently. So, I don't know. Manga fashion. Okay, manga fashion. Okay. I'll look it up. Man, the soundtrack of this is putting me to sleep. I think I need to. Alright. Oh boy. This might be worse. Book was given to you by a coworker? Nice. Bring up the beat. I thought I'd go for an ambiance like Ryan did, but I'm not gonna lie. An ambiance is a very fashionable and fun way to put me to sleep. Alright, better? I put on lo-fi. It's got kind of a beat. Yeah, it does. It really does. But if I, get up and start moving around like a spastic 9-year-old, I'll, put myself in a cycle. Or it's like, I'm too busy just dancing. And alright. I'll just start dancing. And, some time will be wasted. And little progress will have been made. It's about to be I think also one goal is, say, getting an interview with Riley Wigglewood. That'd be badass. I'd love to do a shirt for him, like a shirt design. Something about like Magician's Break or like maybe like the genie, or like I've said this before, but Riley Wigglewood, like he's a animator. Ryan actually had an interview with him, and essentially he did some viral animated videos, and even Shane Gillis noticed him, which is awesome. Like Shane Gillis from Tires, and he did an interview with with Ryan, and honestly, I think I'd like to do an interview with him, because he seems like a really cool person to kind of do an interview with. Not to mention it's hey, he's like an up and coming indie artist. Why not pick his brain about some stuff? And who knows, maybe I can Wigglewood Tales, yes, of the same name. I mean, we're kind of friends on Discord, but that means nothing really. But he did do a talk with Ryan, so maybe it's hey, maybe I got a chance. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you can go on X. I think. Oh yeah, no, he did some stuff that I recognize. He did some comic books, some webtoons. He did comics before, but I think he's doing animations now. You could see a lot of funny stuff on X if you look hard enough. Okay, shit. I don't think I've made much progress on this thing. Oh man. All I've gotten is an almost entirely rendered out hand with no other designs on it. I mean, hmm. I hope I can get some more stuff done before I get to Lightbox. Cause like right now it's like it's October, and it's like 2 months away, and I can only accomplish so much in 2 months. Cause I'm a slow motherfucker. All right. You know what? Yeah. A lot of funny comic strips that he's got going on, and he posts it consistently, which is something that I'm kind of working on. The only thing that I'm consistent in, semi-consistent in, is like semi-consistent in is like say semi-consistent in is like live streaming, and I don't know. Like I just feel like every time I try to post on Instagram and be consistent, I get so attached to the outcome of like it, and also it's like I get real burned out easily when I try and make content. It's like it's like Jesus Christ, I'm doing all this shit, and I'm doing all this shit, and like I'm not really getting anything for it. Not getting the likes, not getting the views, not getting no follows. Why am I here? What's the point? And then essentially that's when I get resentful, and that's when I get really depressed, and that's when I stop. And I don't know, but for him it's like he's doing really well at this. So yeah, no, it's like to pick his brain. Also, it's 11:32, and I'm getting really tired. So thank you, Mr. Lone Wolf. Thank you for watching my stream, and yeah, thank you for watching my stream. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for bearing with me. And be sure to like and possibly, I don't know, comment. It could be anything. Honestly, just like, like, you can comment whatever you want, really. Like, thank you. Thank you. It's nice to have someone, like, take interest in how you progress, especially, like, in this old age. You like my stuff? Oh, thank you. Like was said at the start. That's heartwarming. Really is. You can comment whatever you want, like the wildest shit. Like you could like I don't know, get creative, as long as it doesn't involve racial slurs. Just do it. Just get creative. I want to see what you come up with. Yeah, we're all here to get noticed and learn. I've been at this for a while, since I was like 21, or like 19, and I don't know. It's just sad. It's sad to like basically it's like to work so hard at something, and you want to do it so bad, and you put it out there, and no one gives a shit, because you're essentially fighting against OnlyFans and like OnlyFans chicks, just showing off their assets, and the child feeders, and rage baity, red pill, feminist political content commentators. It's hard to do that, and to see you kind of like just be here It's nice. Oh man, thank you for stopping by. You could have like went anywhere, but you decided to stay here. That means a lot. Well, I am tired, and I want to go to sleep. It's 11:30, and I have to wake up early tomorrow for work. So this is where I have to conclude things. Thank you so much for stopping by. This has been a stream, and I hope that you liked it. Oh wait. All right, all right. Nice. Thank you, man. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have more. All right. Oh God. Good night. Be safe.